Hey, parents, it's summer break. How did your children do in school? Is your son or daughter having to go to summer school to get promoted? How do they feel about that? How do you feel about that? Are you mad or disappointed in their performance? What if they did the best that they could? If it breaks your heart that they feel stupid and inadequate, that they might be getting left behind, that you can see your children's options being lopped off like dead branches just because they can't do well in school, that your child hates school and has given up. And if there was a process that you could use to overcome these challenges, wouldn't you want to know about it? This happened to my son. He's well above average, and yet his Iowa basic skills put him in the bottom 20%. He flunked math, English, and biology in 7th grade. We were informed he would have to take summer school in order to get promoted. And then this conversation happened. How long are the classes? 2 hours for each class. So that would be English, math, and biology for 2 hours each, right? Yes, but we don't offer biology, so that would just be math and English. Well, when do they start? June. And when do they end? June. Oh, now I started doing math. 2 hours a day, 20 hours for 20 days is 40 hours. A school year is 180 days with 50-minute periods. That would be 150 hours. I was confused. Wait, you mean that with 2 hours a day for 20 days, well, 40 hours is the equivalent to a whole year of classes of 150 hours? No, we only go 16 days, Monday through Thursday. It's 32 hours. You're telling me my son can make up a whole year of math, 150 hours of class time in 32 hours. Why don't they just teach the class for 32 hours then? Oh yeah, that would put all the teachers out of work. She thought I was joking. Well, he attended summer school and had no homework at all, none. And since his math skills were still not up to grade level, he really wouldn't have a basis to understand 8th grade math, since everything he'd been attempting would be based on what he should have learned in 7th grade. We tried an experiment. We decided to bring his math skills up over the summer. He was abysmal at 6th grade math, only passable at 5th grade, and competent only at the 4th grade level. So that's where we started him. He was self-paced. We'd introduce something new, walk him through it, and have him practice until he could practically answer the problems in his head. By August, he felt pretty comfortable moving into 8th grade math. We were curious, however, and gave him an assessment test. As an aspiring 8th grader, he tested 8th grade in math. His summer school at home had allowed him to shoot up 4 grades in his math studies. However, according to the assessment test, he only measured 4th grade in English, 5th grade in social studies, and about 6th grade in everything else. Since the current educational system stovepipes all of the learning, even though his English skills were elementary, was assumed that they wouldn't affect his performance in any of the other classes. We all knew this was wrong. So we decided to homeschool him for 8th grade. Now, the method I will show you will allow them to not only thrive, but surpass their peers, as it happened with my son. We started in September, working from 9 to 12 every day. It was a year of the bicentennial Lewis and Clark expedition, and we used that as our theme. We had time for field trips and studied the diary and the journey, among other things, and every subject was covered. But my son wanted to play in the high school band. In order to be allowed back into the public school, he had to take another assessment test, an official assessment test. So we headed off to the academy to take the test, and he wasn't worried at all. Remember what I told you about his testing in the bottom 20% of the basic skills tests? I was worried. You'll do fine, I said. You've been testing and reading and practicing your skills for a year. You know your stuff. Your vocabulary's grown. Your math skills are excellent. You'll be great. I was lying through my teeth. We had to wait 4 long weeks for the result. He rated 8th grade on a few areas, 9th grade on 2 areas, 10th grade on the majority of others, and on the rest of the areas, including math skills, vocabulary, social studies, he was designated PHS. I didn't know what that meant. I had to look all over the paper to find out what it was. And down in the bottom, in mouse-sized font, it said, oh, and it was gray, so it was hard to read. PHS was post-high school. That means that in some of the grades, some of the areas, some of the subjects, he jumped 10 grades in 1 year using this method. How would your child feel if he or she could do that? How would you feel if you could give them a tool that would allow them the freedom to learn any subject for the rest of their lives? If you want more information, click the link below. It's too important to ignore. Find out what you can do to help.